There are places in this world that are best left undisturbed, forgotten corners where time has stood still, and something else has taken its place. Our story tonight takes us to one such location, an abandoned apartment building on the outskirts of an unnamed city, a concrete monolith that has been silent for over a decade. Or so it was thought. It started, as these things often do, on an otherwise normal night. The date was October 12th. The time, exactly 11:47 p.m. A small, unassuming security camera, long dormant on the third floor of the dilapidated structure, suddenly flickered to life. Its power source had been disconnected years ago, its memory card wiped. And yet, it began to record. No one was supposed to be there. The building had been officially condemned, sealed off from the public after a structural failure. Trespassers were rare, deterred by the building's grim reputation and the high fences surrounding it. For the first few minutes, the camera recorded exactly what you would expect. An empty hallway, bathed in the faint glow of a distant street lamp filtering through a grimy window. Thick layers of dust coated every surface, and the air was heavy with the scent of decay and stillness. The only sound was the low hum of the camera's own internal mechanism. Then, at 11:51 p.m., something changed. A movement. It was subtle at first, a flicker at the edge of the frame. A shadow, darker than the surrounding gloom, detached itself from the wall at the far end of the hallway. It moved with a slow, deliberate grace that was deeply unnatural. It wasn't the shadow of a person walking. It had no discernible form, no head or limbs. It was a patch of absolute blackness, gliding across the floor and up the opposite wall before melting back into the darkness. The footage eventually found its way to a small, private security firm hired by the property owners to investigate rumors of squatters. The analysts who reviewed it were baffled. They ran every diagnostic possible, searching for signs of digital manipulation, a projector, or any form of tampering. The results were conclusive. The footage was authentic, raw, unedited data captured directly by the camera's sensor. But what makes this case so deeply disturbing is not what was seen on the grainy footage. It's what was heard. The camera's built-in microphone, surprisingly sensitive for its age, picked up a low, rhythmic sound. It was almost like breathing, a dry, raspy inhalation and exhalation. But it wasn't human. The cadence was too slow, the texture too guttural. It was the sound of something ancient and tired, drawing breath in the suffocating silence. The camera continued its vigil for hours. The shadow would reappear sporadically, always in a different location. One moment it would be on the first floor, captured by a brief, inexplicable activation of another camera. The next, it would be seen slithering across the ceiling of the fifth-floor landing. There were never any footsteps. No doors creaked open, no sound of movement through the debris-strewn halls. The entity, whatever it was, moved without interacting with the physical world, a ghost in the machine. Then, at precisely 2:13 a.m., the microphone on the third-floor camera captured something else. Amidst the low breathing, a new sound emerged. Whisper. It was fine, barely audible above the static. A dry, sibilant hiss that seemed to come from right beside the camera itself. The audio had to be amplified and cleaned multiple times to be understood. It spoke 3 words. Do not look back. The following morning, a team of investigators, accompanied by the property owner, entered the building. They were prepared for anything: vagrants, vandals, even an elaborate prank. They found none of it. There were no signs of forced entry. The dust on the floors was undisturbed, save for their own footprints. No fingerprints. No graffiti. No evidence that any human being had been inside for a very long time. But they did find something else. Something that chilled them far more than any sign of a human intruder could. Every single mirror in the building had been shattered. In the bathrooms, in the bedrooms, the mirrored closet doors, all of them were a web of cracks, radiating from a central point as if struck by an unseen force. All of them, except one, on the third floor, at the end of the very hallway where the shadow was first seen, hung a large, ornate mirror. It was perfectly intact, its surface dusty but unbroken. It was positioned directly opposite the security camera, facing it. The investigators documented it, puzzled by the anomaly, but attached no special significance to it at the time. They took samples from the shattered mirrors, but tests revealed nothing unusual. The case was a dead end. It was only later, when an analyst was reviewing the footage for the 10th time, that he noticed it. He was focused on the shadow, trying to map its movements, but his eyes drifted to the background, to the faint reflection in the unscathed mirror, and his blood ran cold. In the reflection, standing just behind the security camera's position, was a figure. It was tall and impossibly thin, its limbs elongated and angular. It had no discernible features, just a stark, humanoid silhouette. It was utterly motionless, a statue carved from shadow. Watching, the analyst frantically scrubbed through the entire recording. The figure was there, and the reflection, in every single frame from the moment the camera turned on. Unmoving, unseen by anyone until now. The security guard who first discovered the footage and the reflected figure quit his job that same day. He refused to speak about what he saw, but his wife later contacted the firm. She said he was suffering from severe night terrors. He claimed that the figure from the mirror was now in his dreams, and every night it was standing a little closer. The official investigation was quietly closed. The incident was logged as a series of technical malfunctions and video artifacts, likely caused by electrical surges and sensor degradation. It was the simplest explanation, the only one that allowed everyone to sleep at night. But this story doesn't end there. The building remains sealed, a forgotten wound on the city's landscape, and the camera, against all logic and reason, continues to turn on by itself. Every single night, at exactly 11:47 p.m., it still records the empty, silent hallways. To this day, no one dares to retrieve it. No one wants to see what it sees. The footage is uploaded to a secure, forgotten server, a silent testament to an unsolved mystery. Some things are not meant to be seen. Some questions are not meant to be answered. And some warnings should always be heeded. If you ever feel a sudden chill in a quiet room, or hear a faint, dry breathing just behind you in the dark, do not look back. Thank you for joining us in the shadows. Subscribe to Dark Echo Dailies for more stories from the edge of the known. Be careful out there.